Hi guys, so I am here today to share with you my updated makeup inventory numbers. I did want to say I'd kind of been putting this off, waiting until I thought my blog sale was like done, but I kind of feel like it's never going to be done and it's going to be sort of an ongoing thing for me. So it's possible these numbers can go up. I basically counted just what I consider is in my makeup collection now. If some of those items don't sell, I may reintroduce them into my collection. I haven't really made up my mind completely. Someone also did ask me about that painting back there in one of their emails. I did that about 2 years ago, so I didn't buy it anywhere. And then someone asked me about that table too. That was my grandmother's tea cart that someone that she was related to built. I don't know, it has his name on the bottom, but anyway, let's get into the hard and fast numbers. Dun dun dun. And dun 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 is right, it's scary. So I actually created a Google spreadsheet. So if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my computer and scrolling down and around and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So let's start with bronzers. I currently have 3 bronzers, and in January I had 4, so I used up 1. That's good. I'd like to get down to 1 or 2. Right now I have 6 concealers, and back then I had 8, so I did a little bit better. I still feel like I have too many concealers and I need to work on that. Right now I have 5 cream blushes, and I did separate my blushes this time into cream and powder. I actually prefer cream blushes, I'm finding. I just find that they wear a lot longer on my cheeks, and I prefer the look that they give versus the powder blushes. So I have 5 cream blushes, and then for powder blushes, I have 6. No, I have 10. Wish I had 6. I have 10, so my total blush number is 15. My total blush number, though, in January was 29. So 15 is still too many, but I have almost cut that number in half. So I've been really proud of that, and that's basically been through selling it on my blog sale. So I have 5 cream blushes, 10 powder blushes. I'd really like to get that down to 5 blushes total with 2 powder and 3 cream. That'll be really difficult for me to do. So I did cut my blush number almost in half, which is really good, but I still have too many powder blushes. I need to try and work through some of those this year and really decide if I love them, if I don't, if I need to let go of them, if I'm only holding on to them for sentimental reasons, which is what I kind of think it is. So, cream eyeshadows. I have 8 of those, and I also included in those, oh sorry, my light just went out, but you guys, you're fine. You don't really need to see my face for this. So right now I have 8 cream eyeshadows, and in January I had 23, and so that is a huge difference. Again, that was due mainly to purging, throwing away ones that were old and selling ones that were still usable on my blog sale. And I did use up a couple of the minis in project pans, so I did use up some of them, but I didn't use up all of those, obviously. For eyebrows, I have 2 brow products right now. I just have a gel and a brow pencil, and in January I had 9 products, so I did get rid of some. I sold one. I used up a couple of my MAC pencils. I had a few MAC pencils then, so I used up most of those. So doing good on brows, I'm happy with that. So for eyeliners, I have 14 pencil liners, 3 gel liners, and 1 liquid liner currently, for a total of 18 eyeliners. In January I had 31, so that's definitely down. I have used up several of my eyeliners. I've also gotten rid of some that were just old. And for eyeshadows, this is such a hard area. So basically eyeshadows and lipsticks, well, and lip products in general, are my terrible areas. So for eyeshadows, and this was singles, duos, and I counted my MACs as singles because I kind of move them around too much to count them in a palette. So I have 78 eyeshadows in In January I had 38. A lot of that is due to, so there's a huge increase in number there. First of all, I think I might be counting some differently. I don't think I was counting my ones in palettes as individuals, so I think that makes up a lot of it. Also, I ordered about 30 Fear&A eyeshadow samples. Most of them are the small size, so my eyeshadow number went up. Eyeshadow palettes. Right now I have 7, and in January I had 19, so that number has gone down a lot. Again, that was due to purges. I got rid of some. I didn't use any up, and I don't think I'm counting, like I'm counting them differently. I was counting my Z palettes as one palette, but that's not really right because they're interchangeable. It's not set in stone. Like my Naked 2 palette is set with how many eyeshadows it has and what eyeshadows it has. So right now I have 7 eyeshadow palettes, which is still kind of crazy. I really would just like to get down to 3 at the most. For facial sprays, I have 5 right now. I did not have a number for that in January because I just I don't think I had many, but I somehow got a lot, so I decided to include that. For foundations, right now I have 9. In January I had 8, so that number went up, but 2 of those are small. So for fragrances, I didn't count this, I don't believe, last year. Okay, so I don't have a number for how many it was, but I have pretty many, and I think I have a video on it, actually. But right now I have 10 fragrances, and that includes some, like I have 2 of the Britney Spears and the spray, and then like a roller ball of it. I counted a roller ball as 1 because it still takes me a while to use up a roller ball. I'm pretty happy with how many fragrances I have because I enjoy the variety that I have. I would like to use up, I have a body mist and some deluxe sample sizes of fragrances. Again, I count those as 1 that I'd like to use up because they're just not my favorite. So I'm working on that. For glitters, I have 2 glitters. One is a sort of clear reflective glitter, and the other one was a small size of MAC Reflex Antique Gold that came in a set. I did not have a list for glitters. I think I included it in my pigments, but I differentiated it this time. For highlighters, powder highlighters, I have 5. So I did not differentiate between powder and liquid last time. In January I had 13 highlighters. This time I have 5 powder highlighters and 7 highlighting fluids, which are like my Rouge Bunny Rouge Sea of Clouds, my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. I have the Burberry fluids. So some of them are quite sheer, some of them are more like primers, and some of them are more like full-on highlighting fluids. So I'm not really sure how you want to count that. Either way, I have 12. So I did go down by 1. So lip balms, I'm down to 6 right now. And I had 14 in January. So I have done well with using up my lip balms. I think I just got rid of the ones that were really old and didn't work. I have 3 lip glosses right now, which is awesome. I'm super happy about that. In January I had 13. So I only have 3 lip glosses, one of them, but I'm happy that I have those 3. Lip liners, right now I have 15. In January I had 23, so I did go down with a few of those. I think I just threw away the ones that were old. I have the one up on my blog sale. A lot of them are the NYX ones. I really like those and I enjoy them, so I'm kind of happy with that. I don't really mind that number too much. Lipsticks, I have 46. Last time I had 78. So last time I had it split up between drugstore lippies and high-end lippies, but the total would have been 78. Right now I only have 46, so that's good. A lot of that was due to purchase. I did use up a few, so that was good. I did use up a few. Most of them are MAC. I'll tell you that's the huge majority of them are MAC. So yeah, I need to get working on my lipsticks. Right now I have 11 pigments, so I count the pigments, they're all my MAC pigments basically. I decided to keep my Bare Minerals loose shadows and my Fear&A loose eyeshadows as eyeshadows because that's basically what I would probably use them as. I still might use them on my lips or my cheeks or something, but mainly they're eyeshadows. But my MAC pigments, I feel like I might use them more places. I don't know, I had to pick a line and that's the line I chose. So 11 for that, 11 for right now, and back in January I had 13. I don't know what two went away or I got rid of, but I went down a little bit. So right now I have 6 powders. In January I had 6. So that number has stayed consistent, and a lot of them are more recent purchases, so I do need to sort of work on making sure I use those up. And then the powder blush, I had 10, and I had 5 cream blushes, so I have 15 blushes. We talked about that earlier. And for primers, which is my last category, I have 7. All of them except for 1 are deluxe sample sizes, so that's not too bad. In January, I had 8. So most of my numbers have gone down. Some of the categories and places that I'm putting things have changed, so they're not all exact, but when I finish something, I'm going to like highlight it in a certain color on Google Sheets, and then at the end of the year I can tell you how many I used up. So some of the things that I recognized while I was doing this makeup inventory is, 1, I have too much makeup. Pretty much everyone that's watching this has that same conclusion in their head. Yeah, I don't know, like I have a lot of makeup. The other thing it really highlighted for me is I do not need to be purchasing any lip products whatsoever for a year. I just have so many lip products, and those are going to be what goes bad first. You know, the pigments and stuff, I may have a lot of them, but they're not going to go bad as quickly as the lip products. So that also kind of concerns me. But lipsticks, if I really do focus on them and focus on using them, I can use them up within a decent time frame. I don't care too much how many highlighters I have because I really enjoy highlighters. They're probably my favorite part of makeup right now. But that being said, I'm comfortable with what I have, and I need to just make sure that I don't purchase any more. That's kind of everything. If you have any questions, you could please let me know. Like I said before, if something happens with my blog sale, these numbers can change. I may decide to reintroduce some items in if those items don't sell. I may decide to get rid of more things. So that's my disclaimer. My disclaimer is I don't know what's going to happen in the future.